Hey, what's up? Take two. The Metaverse, the social dilemma, the movie. Thinking about what's going on with social media, technology. What are we up against? Social media, these are tools. What are we building?
Yo,
Yeah, let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it.
okay, man. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's being whacked like
I,
that.
I notice anytime something like this happens, it tells part of the story.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, no doubt, no doubt.
They might have heard me
For,
talking about the metaverse, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna
yeah, yeah, they're gonna try to mess this whole thing up, but it's
yeah.
cool. It's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I believe in speaking the truth. No matter what the circumstances are. I've been doing show business really since I've been like since 12, in a drum line. And I just know that when things go wrong, the show must go on. So, go ahead and keep it pushing. Just keep doing what we do.
Yeah, for sure. So recently, I started paying attention to the metaverse,
Right, right. Got it.
and I noticed that for a good 10 plus years, I had been paying attention to what was leading up to it.
Right, right, right.
So you have social media,
Hmm.
and because of my generation and most of the people in your generation, most of our existence was grounded in reality.
Hmm.
Um, are we being affected at this at some level? 100%.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
big time. Big time.
but also, I believe a lot of this is the choice.
Yeah, I agree.
We are so say when I'm doing Lyft, I a lot of times I have to drive and then I agree to some contract. So we're agreeing at this at some level with the contract, or we're agreeing at some subconscious level to a lot of these
Right,
different things.
right,
And being a person that my number one value is freedom, I always find a way to dance through this stuff.
right. No, true, true.
Still being affected by it. I laugh a lot of times that I think about views sometimes. But I know myself about that, so I've hacked part of my life so I don't worry about views. Like for instance, I
Right.
have a guy in Pakistan who worries about my views. And we have conversations all the time. Oh, you should do this video. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
So we have social media,
Hmm.
then we have NFTs.
Right, which they're both the waves right now. Super, they're both the waves.
And the NFTs I'm seeing, and Corona helped me with this, and then I started to see it in other places, but it made sense when she said it, that the NFTs are the stuff that's going in the metaverse.
Oh, big time. Because think about it, they're the new like Basquiat paintings. They're the new Picasso that you could hang up in your crib in the metaverse. Like
Yeah,
that's how I view it.
yeah, for sure. And it takes a long period of time for stuff like this to catch up with our biology.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna let you keep going before I
No,
speak my piece.
you can interject. I think you have something.
Oh man. To be real, bro, like the reason why we're having so many mental health issues with social media and all these changes is because, bro, this we weren't meant to handle this amount of information and judgment and all these different things. Like, I rewatched The Social Dilemma just for this conversation, and even just say I have 10K followers, right? Like, I was never meant to be able to receive all that criticism from 10,000 people based off of a post that I liked. It's one thing, and I know that in our chat, right, between me, Corona, and you, and everything, I know you've been trying to get out there and dance more in public. Like, that's normal stuff. Like, being around and being in society and just enjoying yourself, that type of like judgment, as we would say, is normal. It's you know what I'm saying? But like, now we're in this artificial world where anything that we post, we are opening ourselves up to judgment or criticism or whatever that might be, or instant gratification or instant validation, attention, all these different things. So what that creates is this sense of, well, where am I at? I'm behind. I'm this. I'm that. If somebody didn't get back to me, if the person I slid in their DMs doesn't get back to me in enough time, do they really like me? It just creates this worry. And so my fear with the metaverse is that people are going to lose sight of humanity, because they're going to be able, instead of dealing with real life and real issues and all these things that are good for your own health, being outside, just regular socializing. And I get it, it's a pandemic, people want to be safe, but you start to lose sight of the nature that we were intended to live and coexist. So
And
I just think, yeah,
let
I
me
think social
let me
media, yeah,
let me tell you something about the dancing. So
yeah,
the dancing isn't. I'm not channeling into how easy that could be. I could make it really easy for myself.
right, yeah, yeah,
Oh, but also when I'm doing it, I'm channeling into, oh, I'm doing this around a college campus. When I was 23, I'm the guy that would make fun of guys if they hung out at our college 1 year after they graduated. I'm a
oh
52
yeah, of
year old.
course,
I'm a 52-year-old dancing at the college, and I feed off that, and I
yeah.
know so much more there, but I don't want to get caught up in my ego, because that being comfortable is one of the things that gets in the way of us breaking past the things that are in our way.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's just even evolution, just like survival of the fittest. Like, you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to survive and to thrive. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
So let's take what you're saying about getting outside. So it's a real thing that people in cold regions during the winter, depression goes up.
Yeah, of course. Yo, 100%.
There's a real thing as far as Alaska, that there's certain parts of the year that it's sunny 4 hours a day, dark 20 hours a day, or and
Right,
it's that 6 months.
right.
Depression is extremely high. Alcoholism is very extremely high.
Man, I bet, I bet. Yeah.
And we could say to a certain extent, and there's some people that have always lived in that region, and that still happens, and
Hmm.
usually will adapt. Usually will adapt over time to certain things. So why in the social dilemma, one of the
Yeah.
guys had mentioned, his name's Sam, and then his name's like Viknin,
Hmm.
Bacon. I don't even know how to say that. But in it, he talked about how gay males. He's an epidemiologist, so he's
Okay.
not
Right.
he's not trying to like speak like politically correct.
Okay.
So he's like, gay males started the fashion industry, and he said that gay males have made the models look that attractive like young men. So the
Mm.
female
That's an
models
interesting take.
have the body type of a young man.
Mm, interesting.
Right?
I've never thought of that, or I haven't heard of that, but that's very interesting. I can
And
see that though. I can see
and
it.
and they said that they've done studies that that's not what men really want, but they
No, bro. I can just speak for me, man. I'm gonna speak for me, and this is just who I am, straight up. Dude, like I'm just into who you are as a person, like spirituality. Like obviously, like dude, looks matter, yeah, to a certain extent, right? Like I have to be physically like attracted to you, but like I've just to interject to talk about that because like my love for women is like infinite. It's not on some like sexual stuff, but it's just like on some like female energy, like who they are and what they have done and contributed to the planet. Um, I just I love them all different races, all different types, and it's just like I don't know, like I feel like what society or like social media like pushes on us, like this whole idea of like a big ass, big titties, big lips, big all this stuff, like it's cool. I'm not gonna front. Like it's cool. But like for me, like Kendrick Lamar, I'm so tired of the Photoshop. Give me something real, like some stretch marks. Like I'm with that 1,000%. Like give me some real shit. Like I don't give a fuck about all that. Like I don't give a fuck if you are thick. I don't give a fuck if your skin cool. It's just. I think that social media, at some type of level, is getting us away from humanity. Like what it means. Like we need to accept each other more in our imperfections and our flaws, and like going back to what you're saying about in terms of this model, like this, it's a model is an idea. This is this idea of a standard of beauty that someone thought that this was cool, and then everybody ran with it and was like, okay, women, you should have this waist size, you should have your derriere should be this big, and your breast size should be. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like that's I can't with this one size fits all. I know that was a tangent, but
Yeah.
I had to keep it real. I had to keep it real. You know what I mean?
So going back to that, like lots of these things are affecting us because women are trying to go for that look. Plus,
Yeah, dude.
there's for men to track what Madison, let's say Madison Avenue says is the attractive thing because it makes you look successful. It made them put more money in your.
Bro.
There's lots of stuff. I mean, being single is frowned upon in corporate America and lots of different things. So there's lots of those things that are going into it. So
But
going back,
bro,
go
oh
ahead.
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. In somewhere in this, can we talk about? And I don't feel like men talk about this enough. Can we talk about being body shamed? Because that's a real thing. That's something that no one talks about. Men get
Okay.
body shamed. They do.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I
Okay.
want to talk about that
Okay.
specifically because there's
So
there's
we're on a
there's
big
stuff in
tangent.
there that
Come back to that. So
yeah
with social media, the same guy Sam that I was telling you about earlier,
yeah
he talks about the guys that created social media.
right.
They a lot of them were asexual. They don't. They're not socially. They're socially awkward. Don't like to do it. So they created social media like that.
Oh yeah, but bro, like you gotta think that all the systems in the world, like, and I'm gonna keep this like social justice heavy. You know, for those who don't know, I'm Christian, but I'm like a social justice warrior. I'm pretty much I'm more on the liberal side of things. But like, bro, like all these systems have been built by white heterosexual cisgender males who don't know shit about fuck. Like we are
So
all
let's
different.
be
So it's like,
let's be more inclusive. We're talking about a few at the top. Some do, some do, some don't.
Yeah, but I would say I watch what I said. I said for the most part, it's these people at the top who are deciding all these things, all these imaging, and just these ideas, right? These ideologies. These are people who are basically the same identity, making decisions for people who identify as so many different things. That's
Oh,
the issue. It's
the
not
reason,
inclusive.
no, the reason why the reason why I was saying that is not to protect them, but to
Hmm.
protect people that are listening, that are in this mix, just like you and I.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Not to offend anybody. Not to offend anybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's why, because yeah, we're and I know you. So if we're having a conversation like that, I wouldn't have been doing that. But now that we're
yeah,
like
not bad.
conversating,
I'm not.
yeah. No, you're good,
Yeah.
you're good. Um, so let's go into body shaming and how it affects you, and like and
Oh yeah,
affects you.
yeah. I mean, bro. Like I think that. I mean, obviously, it's more on the women's side where, social media and just the media in general targets women to be a certain size or a certain thing. But like even like there's messages for men. I've been body shamed for either, oh, you're too skinny, or you're not muscular enough, or you're not this enough, or you're. But it's like it's a very subtle thing, and you're just like, yo, like what it is. And even being, I don't know if you've ever dealt with this as another black male, but that's a thing too of masculinity and how you should look and how you should carry yourself and how all these things. So if you're a little different, you might, or you didn't grow up playing sports. That was me. I didn't get into my fitness stuff until maybe about 2 years. Like really last year, I like really doubled down on it. But like to be real, like I didn't play sports. I didn't do all that. But that's that pressure from society as a black male that you have to look and do certain things. Um, it just that's something that I've struggled with in my journey, especially with romantic partners, where they're like, well, the person I've dated before, they're muscular, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry that I'm not. I'm kind of just myself. Shouldn't you just like me for me? But yeah, I don't know if you've experienced that, but I know there are males who deal with that, and I think that now we're at a place where people are appreciating like people who have dad bods, right? Like um, for those who don't know, I'm approaching 30, so like I've seen a more of a body positive movement where it's like men who aren't necessarily the who have washboard abs and all this stuff are being appreciated. But the fact that's even a movement shows that men do get body shamed, but it's just not on the same level as women. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And another thing is as far as on the social media side, and I think because women have been shamed for so long,
Hmm.
they're comfortable shaming men financially.
Oh, that too. Oh, speak
And
on it. Oh, that
height,
too.
height wise, like very, very vicious. Very, very vicious.
Oh yeah. Um, yo, like even okay, so for those who may not know who I am, I'm in hip hop. I'm a radio DJ. I'm a booking agent for music tourism. So I've been in hip hop for about 10 years now, and I've studied this extensively. And I even think in black culture, it's such a thing to have your own car, chains, not be living at home with your mama, blah blah blah, be a baller, all this stuff. So because we've been socialized to think that way, that if you're not living to that certain expectation, then you're less of a man, right? And so even I've even seen that crossover to like from, being with black women to other women too, where it's like this idea, um, that, men in general, but also black men should have all this stuff. And I've seen it being in hip hop and interviewing celebrities and social media, like my social media looking like, oh, that it's all together and it's all perfect. And, I'm living the life, but it's like, dude, like a lot of the time that I was really interviewing celebrities and doing my thing, and I have no shame in saying this, like I was in graduate school working at Food for Less too, and in student housing, but it's the going back to the whole social media thing. It preys on this idea that perception is reality, but it isn't. It's really just it's really an illusion. And I understanding that, I've never tried to fake the funk. It's open for your own interpretation, right? But at the same time, like I just see so many nuances with social economic status, right? On top of being a minority, being a black male, and then just being in a culture where everything is about being braggadocious. Everything's about, oh, I got this many women and I got this and I got that. It's just like, so when you're socially aware and all this, you're just like, whoa, this affects me. What's happening right here? And so I really resonated with what you said about the
You're
financial struggle and being shamed.
you're wasting. Sorry, when we get caught up in that mix, we're spending and consuming a lot of energy to keep up with the Joneses.
Right, exactly. And it's just like you realize you have to like get to a point um where that none of that matters. Like when you I said this the other day, the only opinion that matters before you go to sleep is your own. It's your own thoughts. It's how you felt about the day. It's how you feel about yourself. When you log out of social media, you still have a whole real life that's in front of you. You may have a family, you may have kids, you may have a roommate. You have to deal with your stuff. The issue is that so many people do not want to deal with their emotions. Maybe because they have trauma that they haven't learned to heal from or they're not aware of. Maybe maybe they grew up in a toxic environment where they were taught not to deal with it. So they choose to escape. And I'm not saying escapism is bad. I trust me, I have 2 degrees in escapism, TV and film and music industry. I make money off of escapism. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that there are negative effects if you do not use it. If you misuse it, there are negative effects. Because I really do believe everything's a tool.
Let,
Everything's
let,
a tool. It's yeah.
let me talk to you about a project that I was involved with a student with. Um, Met this student. He wanted
Hmm.
to be the next Steven Spielberg.
Nice.
I had to beg him. I mean, I could go without like ever being in a film or being in
Hmm.
anything for the rest of my life, and not even give a fuck. I mean, I still like to do
Right.
my videos. I mean, if I could find a way to like do any things, I could do without being. I mean, I could use my videos. I have enough videos to talk about everything, like just repurposing them. At this point, I don't have to do
Right.
any more. Um,
Right.
but I have to beg him to film.
Yeah.
One of the things I identified about him is he said he used to lucid dream and he could throw around cars, and that was the first time I've to anybody at that point that lucid dreaming, and I was like, why would that even fucking matter?
Oh no, man.
And since then, I've trained myself to sing lucid dreaming. I've trained myself to do lots of stuff lucid dreaming.
What?
Here,
How do you do that, son? I need to
I'll
figure that one out.
another one.
You gotta
Yeah,
put me on game.
I'll do that. I'll do that at another point. I might get it started at the end of this video, just so people can
Oh
explain.
man,
But
that's funny.
what happens is I have ways that I go about it, but I don't remember the process as I'm sleeping. But I wake up with 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 action.
Mm.
because I know that dreams aren't real. Sometimes
Yeah, they're not.
there might be some illusions of like stuff during the day and everything. I remember the first time that I went to an acupuncturist, or first or second time, and she goes, "Oh, you're gonna start dreaming." And then I was gonna say, "Well, I don't even remember my dreams." And right when I was about to say that, she goes, "Oh, you dream during the day." I was like, "Oh, I'm learning this at 38." Like, oh, that explains a lot.
Wow.
That explains a lot. Just hearing that to do it. So it feels good to say I'm going to be the next Steven Spielberg.
Right.
In action, having people criticize you, actually having to sit down there and edit the video doesn't always necessarily feel good.
Oh man. No, I agree. I agree. I think that a lot of going back to this whole social media thing, we and I'm gonna quote Charlemagne the God, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We are literally comparing our everyday lives to someone's highlight reel. And what I'm saying by this is a lot of times, especially I would say even my generation and Gen Z and the generations below us, because of social media, they only see the end result. They only see when the person gets the degree. They only see when the person gets the job. They only see when the person gets engaged. They only see the record deal. They don't get to see the process or the BS that people have to go through to do all that. Like when I made it to FM, perfect example, 101.5 KQBH. No one saw the journey of me working two jobs, trying to be in school. My mental health was hard, like going through a lot of hard things, and it wasn't good. You know, me trying to produce a show by myself, like people don't see all that stuff. And I know you've heard, be careful what you wish for because it might come true. Like the only way that you can have longevity when things don't pan out the way that you think they are, is discipline, man. That's what I've been learning more and more and more. Is discipline is key because you might have a passion, you might be inspired, you might be motivated. And me, I'm a very passionate person. Anyone who's ever met me, who's come across me, who's befriended me, they would tell you I'm a very passionate person, and I'm very genuine, I'm very sincere, and I take accountability for my actions. If I wronged you, if I came at you sideways, and I made you feel some type of way, I apologize. And then I self reflect. But at the same time, like I've I've dealt with all these emotions, but they all flee because of situations and circumstances. There's been times where I didn't want to record or DJ because I just didn't feel motivated. But discipline is when you realize the mission is more important than how I'm feeling, because feelings are fickle. They come and go. The mission is more important, and I know that whatever I'm going through, it's gonna pass by me. It's gonna pass by me, and I'm gonna pray for healing. I'm gonna work through my issues. But this window of opportunity, the what I'm striving to do, what I'm really like in love with doing, is more important than how I feel. So even if it's easy to say that you want to be whatever, you want to be the next Steve Jobs. It's easy to say you want to be the next Kanye West. It's easy to say that you want to be anything in life, right? But if you don't have the discipline to sit and edit, to sit and shoot, to even go through bad ideas, because not every idea is going to be great. But for you to even get to great ideas, you have to keep working at it. And I bring this back to kind of working out and all this stuff, is like that discipline, man. Like it's that's the key. That's the key to success. I really do believe that. And that's what I think with social media. not enough people are pushing that. They're pushing that, oh, look, someone's life is so great. But it's
Let's,
like,
I wanted to get to the core of why that is, because I
yeah,
think
let's
that's
do that. Let's do that.
so. The social media and these smartphones are like a pacifier.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
a
that's
baby
true.
a baby crying, and a real good mom, no judgment on a real good mom will sit there and a good real good parent will sit there and their baby's crying
Hmm.
and like pay attention to what's going on.
Right,
Okay, is this baby hurting? Is this baby hungry? Just kind of like
right.
go the realm.
Hmm.
A lot of times they just give the baby a pacifier, and the baby starts sucking on the pacifier, and then all of a sudden the pain's still there, but they have the pacifier. So when we're sitting here, we're cyborgs. When we have this phone in our hand, we're cyborgs. We can figure out any problem in the world. We just get here and we're like, oh, I'll figure it out. Let me Google. Every time you Google, you're googling millions of dollars of information,
Right.
and you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden and it's keeping you from really feeling what's going on in you, because there's wisdom, so that there's knowledge in the information you're giving. There's wisdom in what's going on in your body and what you're
Hmm.
feeling, and that's something that can free you and break you from that. And the more we get to attach to the technology, the less we're going to be feeling what we really want. Because I don't care how disciplined you are, if you don't know what you want, you're just going to be going towards a whole bunch of stuff you don't want.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. I
Yeah, yeah.
think
I
having,
wasn't necessarily talking towards you on that, but also for the
yeah,
reason
of course.
I say that, obviously, if it was us talking, we wouldn't even need to bring this up. But for the audience, it's important that, yeah, sometimes you got to sit by a lake and, yeah, what do I want? Oh, when I was 6, I wanted this. What does that look like today? Da 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 da.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to know what you want. I mean, even more important to know yourself. But yeah, it's just you. No matter what you want to do, having a vision, having direction, um, and really working towards it and sticking to it and being consistent is the most important thing. And I think that even my generation down, I think because of social media, they're not promoting that enough. They're,
I'll,
they're
I'll
just promoting the want.
I'll give you an example of when you don't know what you want, or you don't come across as knowing what you want. The
Right.
universe and other people will give you shit that you want. And I'll give you a simple example. Say I'm driving a Lyft passenger and the GPS isn't working in the beginning.
Hmm.
I can't shut the passenger up about telling me where to go like after that. Because like even when it starts working again, they got to tell me, because
Oh my God.
they don't they don't know. He doesn't know which way to go, even though it was just like a 30-second thing in the beginning, which I don't
Hmm.
necessarily mind in the scheme of things. And the only reason why I do mind to a certain extent is because a lot of times I'm supposed to have an important conversation with that person, and
Right.
them obsessing about the right turn, left turn, because I know there's no like CEOs and people that are making real good moves that are like sitting there figuring out which way you're going to turn and
Man,
go. That's one of the
but
things that this artificial intelligence can free us up to have meaningful conversations. That's what it's doing right here. That's what it's doing, so I don't have to worry about. I mean, when I was in college, I had 200 phone numbers memorized. People used to call me to get other people's phone numbers.
yeah, I, dude, I think that these things are tools. I think that it's so funny. So many people will say the root of all evil is money, right? But no one wants to turn and look at humanity. And why is it that money causes us to act this way? And that's the deeper question. I just want to bring up the Travis Scott situation
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I feel like in all this, and I want to touch on cancel culture just a little bit,
And so when you talk about Travis Scott, speak a little about it like the audience doesn't have any idea about it. Just for
Okay,
to
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So for those who may not know, if you're not aware, Travis Scott had the Astro World Festival, and it was a tragedy where like hundreds, if not thousands, were injured. Several people died, and it was just it was misran. The security didn't know what they were doing. It was just overpopulated. It was bad. Travis Scott was on stage. Mind you, if you don't work in live music, he has an earpiece. It's designed for the lights to be kind of glaring, so he can't really see because when you're a performer, you need to be able to be focused in your zone. So a lot of people were upset because they're like, how could Travis Scott not see that there are people dying and all this stuff, and it's his festival, blah, 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 right? It was a whole debate about who should be liable. Who should be liable for the injuries and the deaths of people who attended this festival. And from my lens, even though I do feel like Travis Scott should share some of the responsibility because of the show and this and that, whatever, no one wanted to talk about what makes people trample over other people just to see a celebrity perform. Why is it that we put Travis Scott, another human being that eats, sleeps, and shits and breathes just like you, for you to overpopulate and to cause stuff like that to happen? So this is where cancel culture gets thrown in here for me. The issue is that we are putting these people in this on this pedestal, this godlike complex, right? We're putting them there. And if they ever show their humanity, if they ever say the wrong thing, if they ever do the wrong thing, if they ever say something I don't like, guess what? We're taking you down. You're no longer human. You're no longer this. You're no longer that. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. We're never giving people the chance to really even let them take accountability or even let them have a sincere apology. I mean, there's certain cases where I understand people should be canceled. Like Bill Cosby should be canceled. R. Kelly should be canceled. There's certain people in certain cases where it's like, yo, like, okay, I understand. But like the Travis Scott situation, even if he messed up or whatever, like it's this idea that if someone says something that I do not like, we're gonna get them out of here. And for me being a Christian and all this stuff, it's like God forgives you for your sins. God forgives you for these things. And for me, I'm coming from a place of love. Like I'm not one of those Christians that judges people. I live and let live. Like that's always been me. But we're entering into a dangerous zone, right, with social media, because that's where cancel culture came up, is social media, where you can antagonize the person that basically said the wrong thing that you didn't like. And even though I don't agree with a lot of the times what people say when they get canceled or what they do, I just think that we're getting to a point where for this movement of inclusion and accepting people in their humanity, it's so funny that you guys, like, people can't see that with that and at least have the dialogue, at least have the conversation, at least like that could be a coachable moment, but instead you want to throw them away. But why do you want to throw them away? Because you're trying to make them more than human. They're a human being. I'm pretty sure you said some messed up shit. I've said some messed up shit. I've said some things that, when I was younger, that maybe could have got me canceled. And that's me being real. I at 13 years old, I probably said the wrong thing about women, or I called my friend a word that I shouldn't have said, right? But is that who I am at 29? No. Again, I'm a big social justice warrior. I'll probably be more tolerant and like I'll probably be more tolerant and more peaceful and more when I'm probably like 39. I don't know I'm always growing and trying to get better. So it's like it's the same thing. Like you want to cancel this person for the rest of their lives for this moment in time. I
I'll give
just
you a perfect example. They always go after Joe Rogan, and
yeah,
for
yeah.
for me personally, I used to be more of a critic of Joe Rogan,
Hmm.
and I think I was mentioning this in the last podcast, but one day Joe Rogan had an ex Baltimore police officer on there,
Right.
and he totally broke down how they went after people. And I said, I always question everything and run through things, but then I said I'm never gonna like think of Joe Rogan as a bad person like after that,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
because
I
that
mean,
was
there's
yeah, that was probably the biggest thing in the conversation of like being viewed out there and being it in that whole conversation.
yeah, man. I mean, look, bro. I think that like we're always learning and growing, and I mean, some people choose to be stagnant and choose to be comfortable and ignorant. And if you don't know, the root word of ignorance is to ignore. Um, so you have been given the information, but you choose to ignore it. Um, but at the same time, man, like I just think that you have to allow people to go through their progress. And Corona just said lack of education. That too. Um, you gotta give people the right to their own process, right? Like because becoming socially aware, some people call it woke, right? I didn't start this journey until like I was in the ninth grade, and the only reason why it started because I was in a magnet program that was big on social justice issues. Shout out to Cleveland High. Like that's the only reason why I started this. Like, and it's been a process. It's been a process to challenge all these thoughts and unlearn certain things. There's stuff that I'm unlearning now that I've been programmed since I was yay high. Um, so again, not everybody's given the privilege to learn about other cultures, to see
And
other cultures, to be in a place. So it's like you can't always be so quick to throw people away. That's all I'm trying to say. You can't be so quick.
one thing I wanted to interject in all this that I'm kind of embarrassed about this, but there was a time that I was doing stuff online, but also like I was one step in the grid, one step off the grid, and I was like walking around, didn't have a car, but I was
Hmm.
building a lot of cool stuff online. It was around when I had written that book. I wrote 4 books in 1 week and published one. Published 5.
Yo, see you. Wow,
I
you
was
right.
channeling like a motherfucker. Just like, and I was just gonna write one and publish one, and then I was like, oh, that was easy. So I just fucking just kept on going. I was like fucking crazy that week. Um, but going back to that is there was a point that I was having trouble. I had to force myself that when I went to the grocery store, that I would not go to the checkout where you use the computer. I would go to force myself to talk to somebody. And we're talking
Yeah, I still do that. Yeah,
that was always social and everything, but I was just like, I was so pissed off at humans because I just got burnt so many fucking times, like big time. And when I set out on my path, I was willing to have everybody in the world hate me, and I fucking came close. Um, but doing Lyft, talking to people from all over the world, and knowing that they just want to eat, they want to provide for their family, they want to have do something with their hands or accomplish stuff. We're pretty much the same. That helped me
yeah,
balance what social media was doing. So the
yeah.
more that we're talking about stuff and how it's shaped us in a more positive way, still trying
Right.
to like maneuver through this stuff, being in the world and like actually having real conversations and actually not,
They're important.
that's the message from this.
Yeah, no, it's important, man. And just to reiterate what you said, and I've heard that before, like pretty much we are all like what we want universally is the same for the most part across the board. No matter how you identify, we pretty much all want the same thing, love, respect, peace, just to feel, you know, comfortable in our skin and accepted, right? Like for the most part, that's what we want. But the thing is, our experiences are all different, and you cannot discredit people's experiences, their lived experiences, their humanity. That's
That's
what that's the difference.
that's what I got out of the Joe Rogan thing was I felt heard.
Yeah, we
Not just heard,
bro,
I
we
felt heard.
all
I felt heard for my people.
yo, but that's the thing. Like, we all want to be seen and heard, and I'm a firm believer that kinfolk isn't always skinfolk. Even though I love my black people, my Afro Latino people too, obviously. My last name is Flores, for those who don't know. Um, but at the same time, like,
Real quick,
yo, I,
real quick. You can't drink water in the metaverse.
oh yeah, bro, like, we're made up of like, what percentage of water? Wait, like
It's I've heard
70%?
70 to 90%.
Yeah, 70%. Fam, I saw
You know
the
what that?
yo,
You know what that liquid's called too?
what?
Solution. So we're 70 to 90% solution.
Well, see, I just think it's funny that when I was reading this article, someone paid $450,000 to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor in the metaverse. Like, this is Monopoly come to life. Like, why are you paying millions of dollars to be in a video game? Like, if you don't go buy some real land, if you like, really, do you really leave this to your kids? Like I'm like seriously thinking about this. Like, fam, like that that shit is funny style to me. I don't get it. I don't like it. It is what it is. Like, fam, like I be thinking like, this is on some real shit. Like I feel like because I'm on radio and like I try to give as much of myself as possible, but like I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. Like I don't even got a TikTok, bro. Like I can't like, and I'm not trying to be a old head because I'm about to be 30, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't try. I'm not. I check it out. I peep it, but like, fam, like I can't. Maybe I'll get there. I'm kind of slow when it comes to jumping on waves, but I don't know. The metaverse, it's just funny style to me. Like, you really paid $450,000 to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor on the metaverse. Uh, okay, doesn't that sound crazy in real life? Like, if you knew your homie was like, yeah, man, I just paid $450,000 for a house to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor, you'd be like, dog, you're a stalker. Why would you do that? Well, Snoop Dogg's my neighbor, and like,
I would do it for some publicity for some other stuff.
yeah, I don't know.
I would buy that before I buy a billboard. I mean, buy a billboard ad for 30 days.
Honestly, Corona is wild. Shout out to her, man. I guess you know, um, I like real life, man. I like um, I like what God intended. So that's just me. For all you other disagreement is not
No,
disapproval.
no,
I'm
no.
not.
Sorry. When I was saying that, you're like, I was saying that's the only reason I would buy it. So I agree with you mostly, But if that guy was in the position, there might be some ulterior motion for that. Like I was mentioning to somebody that Bill Gates spent $300,000 on to get the proper media. Sorry, 300 million
Right.
getting the proper media. And somebody said that's like me spending $20 on a Facebook ad.
Yeah, dude. Wait, real fast. I want to
Where
comment
it's
on
different.
Corona's.
There's lots of manipulation there, and there's lots of cover up there. That's the difference.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to comment on Corona's thing. I don't think you can really smoke weed in the metaverse. That's just me, though. I don't know if you can really like hit the blunt and do all that, but if you can, I mean, and you really feel it, that's up to you. I mean, people can partake.
I
I
mean,
just,
but like at some level, your body's gonna know. Like say you're doing the virtual reality and you're in a suit and it's making you feel like you're skydiving or whatever. There's at some level your body's gonna know the difference between when you're dreaming, like when I'm lucid dreaming, when I'm actually taking steps. Like the first children's book I wrote was I was I woke up and I don't remember what I dreamt, and I just like I woke up and I was like I'm gonna write a children's book this week.
nice.
And then I was like, okay, I went to walk to go get my car, and I said I did a video. I was like, okay, I'm planning it out. I'm like doing like my notes, like right on a video that I posted online. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have all my social media friends be my characters. I'm not gonna write it until Friday. I'm just gonna be engaging people. Who wants to be a character? What's the message for your character to be? And on Friday, I'm gonna piece it all together and then finish the book by Sunday. So
Yeah.
it's just being able to take that, be able to have that dream, and then get the fuck out of the way to turn it into reality. And I think a lot of people are missing that discipline to fucking turn it into reality because it feels good to just say, I'm gonna be the best this, or I'm gonna be the best this.
Well, yeah, and I mean, maybe this could be another conversation for, if we decide to do this again, if you would like. Um, I think that a lot of times artists hold on to drafts and these things. There's a lot of music and art that never gets to see the light of day. I think some of it is because they enjoy living in the fantasy versus the reality. But maybe that's something that we can explore. Because for me, being a record producer, also, I mean, I started making beats when I was 14. There's a lot of unreleased stuff, and I've been like thinking like, should I release it? Should I not? Or like, what am I creating for these days? Am I creating to make beats for another artist like I used to? Am I doing this for me? Am I doing like so? I think we should talk a little bit more about art, maybe next time around, and kind of, piggyback off this because that's an interesting take too.
Yeah, for sure. So you good, right? For now, you want me to end it with like the lucid dreaming
Yeah, we can
advice?
end it with lucid dreaming. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Let's do that.
So what you do is it's all about coming up with a solution because I'm all about like practical. Like my meditation's always like been around it being practical, being able to like focus on
Right,
something, not just becoming more relaxed so I could tolerate more bullshit.
right. Yeah, of course, man.
That's what a lot of people do. Is oh yeah, why do I want to tolerate more bullshit? Um,
Man,
so
shucks, I don't.
so what you do is you get your thing. This water is empty. I didn't want to bring necessarily the big one. So you just get a full thing of water, and then before you
Hmm.
go to bed, you say, I wanna I wanna wake up in the morning with exact ways to attract my dream woman. And then you drink half of it,
Hmm.
and then you set it down on the side, and then during the night you go through that dream, and then you wake up in the morning and drink the other half of it. So you're completing it with the manifestation of when you're awake.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it.
It's and it's something that I trained myself over time, and now it's like but it doesn't. And then I'll give you another thing, and you're gonna hate me for this one.
All right, go ahead, man.
Gonna hate you.
Go ahead.
Um, so there's 1,000 different possibilities that I believe it like this that are going on. So from here, there's all these dreams that you have.
Right.
Those possibilities already exist
Hmm.
in the multiverse. All those possibilities exist. Whether this is
Right.
real or imagined, I'm not sure this is necessarily true. So what you
Right.
do is you have the one that mastered the piano. You have him teach you how to play the piano when you're sleeping.
Okay.
I had the professional singer avatar of me teach me to sing while I was sleeping.
Nice.
And because you can dream a lifetime in one night, I started adding other stuff. So the reason why I do Bob Capella is because I'm adding the original Fuego beats into my singing without
Hmm.
knowing what I'm doing, so I can't sabotage it.
Wow.
So that's why my singing's very healing for people.
That's dope.
So you have that person train you. So and there's a little resistance happening in you right now, which is part of the game. So as you sleep tonight, I want the person that has mastered lucid dreaming, the avatar of you that has mastered lucid dreaming, to teach you how to lucid dream while you're sleeping.
Whoa, that's some inception shit. Yeah, no, I'm with it, man. Steve, I mean, for those who don't know, I've been getting to know Steve and I've met him through my friendship with Corona. It's been a blast. I've been a fan of what y'all been doing, and I think in the times that we're in, um, I think that the world needs healing. The world needs conversations. The world needs to understand that we're all coming from different places and we have different experiences, but that doesn't mean that we can't all share ideas and reach common ground. So I appreciate you for allowing me to come onto your platform and chop it up, man. Talk about that real, the stuff that you ain't always getting from the media outlets. It's here. It's here. It's on social media. You just gotta find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, let's do this again. Let's do this again.
Oh yeah, all day, man. Like I said, this is
I
what
don't
I
know
do.
about
I ain't new to this. I choose
I
this.
don't know about all day, but I'm messing with you.
Oh no, I mean I do this all day.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
but I mean, hey man,
Okay,
but
cool.
appreciate you.
For sure. Peace.
Peace.